Hey everybody, it's Dale Jr. catching up after a weekend of racing with the Cars Tour in Florence, South Carolina. One of my favorite tracks. I ran at Florence all through the 90s, every Friday night. And it ain't changed much, and it's a lot of fun to go back. I raced my car in the late model stock portion, but our pros were there as well. We had a really great car count for both series, and Keelan Harvick pulled off the win. Connor Jones and Keelan Harvick had a great little battle in the pros throughout the night, side by side for many laps. Connor Jones running the top, Keelan around the bottom. The racetrack at Florence provides a couple different options in terms of going through the corner, so you can run the high line if you want. There is the idea or the thought that running the top can be tougher on the tire, but man, if you can't get off the bottom, running low, you can move up and find a little bit of pace if you can keep the car up there. But pretty awesome show for the pros, and a great little race ran by Keelan Harvick, and it's awesome to have him racing in the series. That's what this series is about. You know, these drivers coming in and honing their racecraft, and then eventually going up into the trucks or Xfinity Cup. And I believe Keelan will be racing on Sundays at some point, and we can tie his history and his path to the Cars Tour. So that'll be pretty neat. Love seeing all the drivers that move up that came out of the Tour, and I think it shows how much the Tour can do for you if you're trying to hone your racecraft. So the late model stock race was a blast. From my perspective, I burned the rear tires off my car. We weren't good when the race started, and I was a little bit concerned about how the back of my car was handling on throttle on corner exit. And yeah, what I was worried about actually ended up becoming a real issue late in the race. But you know, you come out to these races and running only 3 or 4 races a year, kind of don't really know as much as some of the guys that run every single week. And they're just so talented, and they're so smart, and their cars are so good. There's not a bad car in the field. And so it's hard to get in there in the Cars Tour and be competitive without running more often. But anyways, we had a really good car in practice, and it just didn't net out in the race the way we were expecting it to. But I had a really good time working on my car and running laps and getting the race. Up front, there was a really great battle between the two guys that are likely going to battle all the way to the end for the championship. Landon Lewis and Connor Hall. Connor driving my car. Landon's driving for Kevin Harvick. You know, it kind of came down to the choose at one of the final restarts. You know, now, you know, looking back, late in the race on old tires, the top has a chance to fire off and get down in the corner and get around the guy on the inside. And so if the leader chooses the bottom, he's a bit vulnerable, but you're also vulnerable, obviously, if you choose the top or the guy on the bottom driving into your door into turn 1 and 2. So really kind of no safe place for the leader late in the race on old tires. Connor Hall chose the bottom on a late restart. Landon Lewis got the top, and Landon was able to get the pass completed. And then just kind of had just good enough car to win the race. Connor Hall had a great car as well. But those two kind of had the field covered. Just a lot of great racing through the field, and no real drama, you know, no real problems, as sometimes you have on any given race weekend. You might have some issues. We had the biggest problem we had, I think, all night was the pace truck broke during one of the cautions, and we had to get a rollback out there to get it off the racetrack, so we had to red flag the race. But you know, you can't predict that kind of stuff. We were done by 10 p.m., which is awesome for the Cars Tour. We know our fans don't want to be staying up all night long, and neither do our race teams. So it was pretty cool. Good little race, great racetrack. Maybe I'll run that one again next year. I don't know. I got about 3 to run probably every year for the next several years, and we'll just kind of keep on having some fun. But the tour's doing well. We got a couple races left. The next one is South Boston, I believe, in a few weeks. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. A different style of surface, high grip, really fast. Definitely 2 grooves at South Boston on the bottom or the middle of the racetrack. So that'll be a very competitive race, and there won't be much riding or saving or managing tires there. You'll have to run hard from the very drop of the green flag. The next time I'm going to run will be in October at Tri-County, and that's my last race for this year. So anyways, the Cars Tour is cranking along, and I hope everybody's having a great weekend, and we'll see you at the next one.